I'm James Gruber. Welcome to the Morning Report for Tuesday, the 19th of May. Well, US stocks mostly recovered earlier losses after President Donald Trump said he agreed to delay renewed attacks against Iran at the request of three key Middle East allies. In a Truth Social post, Trump said he wanted to give serious negotiations a chance, hours after threatening to resume bombing and the US and Iran dismissing each other's latest peace proposals. That news reversed heavy early losses in US markets and sent bond yields lower. Looking at what's on the cards for Australia today, the ASX is poised to open higher, with index futures up 1.1%. As for the ASX 200 yesterday, it closed at a more than 1 month low, down 1.5% to 8,505. Miners led the falls, dropping almost 3%. Brambles plunged by the most in almost 25 years, down 20% after cutting its full-year profit guidance. Meanwhile, telco operator Tuas plummeted 63% after its acquisition of M1 stalled. Today, miners and oil companies may lead the way, given some of the gains in commodity prices overnight, while tech stocks could struggle given the pullback in the Nasdaq over the past two sessions. Let's turn now to oil and other commodities. Global oil prices climbed to two-week highs after the International Energy Agency warned that oil inventories were depleting rapidly due to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude futures settled up 2.6% at just above $112 a barrel. Base metal prices gained as supply concerns outweighed weak economic data out of China. Copper futures advanced 0.3%, while aluminium futures were up 1.5%. Let's now look at currencies. The Aussie dollar was last trading up 0.2% to 72.65 US cents. And going back a step to see how Wall Street and other world markets did now, the Dow Jones Index finished up 0.3%, the S&P 500 dipped 0.1%, and the Nasdaq fell 0.5%. A closer look at the trading day there. Wall Street was lower on Monday, mostly with the technology-heavy Nasdaq leading declines, as investors booked profits while surging oil prices fueled concerns that inflation and borrowing costs could stay elevated. The heavyweight information technology sector fell 1% and led declines among the S&P 500's 11 major industry sectors. Chip stocks were among the biggest drags, with the semiconductor index down 1.7%. Energy was the biggest sector gainer, up 1.8%. The world's most valuable company, Nvidia, is scheduled to report results on Wednesday, and the chip maker was the biggest index point drag on Monday, down 1.4%. Leading the S&P 500 were shares of software company ServiceNow, which were up 9% after a positive broker report. Dominion Energy jumped 9% after power firm NextEra Energy said it would buy the utility in an all-stock deal valued at about $67 billion. NextEra shares fell nearly 5%. US government bond yields eased after climbing earlier in the session amid a global market sell-off in longer-dated bonds driven by war-related inflation concerns. The US 10-year Treasury yield was down 1 point to 4.59%, while the US 2-year Treasury yield was 4 points lower at 4.05%. Moving to European markets, the continent-wide FTSE Euro First 300 index ended up 0.5%, and the UK FTSE 100 was 1.3% higher. Europe ended Monday's volatile session higher, bouncing back from declines in the previous week, as investors weigh developments in the Middle East amid rising concern over oil price-driven inflation and its impact on global economic growth. The media index led sector gains with a 2.5% rise. Publicis added 6% after the advertising group agreed to acquire US data collaboration company LiveRamp in an all-cash deal of about $2.2 billion. Germany's DAX index led gains among regional bourses, with Deutsche Börse up almost 5% after the stock exchange operator said it welcomed investor TCI taking a stake, a move that marks the hedge fund's return as a large investor in the company. Ryanair ended nearly 5% higher after posting a record annual profit and saying the risk of jet fuel shortages has all but disappeared. So let's take a look at what's on the watch list for today. In Australia, RBA minutes for the most recent policy meeting will be released, which may provide further insights into the bank's decision to raise the cash rates to 4.35%. There's also the Westpac Consumer Sentiment Survey and earnings reports from Technology One and Catapult. In the US, pending home sales for April are out, as well as earnings results from Home Depot and Keysight Technologies. And that's it for today. For further developments on the local trading session, please tune into the CommSec Market Update podcast this afternoon and, of course, the market close video. Have a great day.